GM Farcaster. Good morning. It is Monday, January 8th, and you are live with Adrian and Nounish Prof, bringing you 21 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. Good morning, Adrian. How are you this lovely Monday?
Happy Monday. Good
I'm
morning.
feeling I'm feeling the Mondays. I'm feeling the Mondays. It's been a little
Oof.
rush this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, off to a rocky start
Little bit,
already.
little bit, little bit. But you know what I have? I have my really fun water bottle that I'm kind of loving that has the OG thing of you on there. You know,
Yeah,
you looking in
of
the arch.
me.
hmm That's what I refer
Um,
to it as. I refer to it as Adrian standing at the arch to welcome
do you
people in
know
and
do you know
protect the
how
bus.
valuable the OG Farcaster NFT is right now?
Speaking
Point
of, do you know
point
why?
0.3 ETH, point 0.3 ETH on the floor. What?
What? This is me regretting I didn't like grab a couple more, right? I should go check.
Well, how
Do
would you grab a couple more? What
I
would
mean,
you have
like, buy
done?
them earlier on from other people, but it felt weird, right? Because that was like just an NFT to mark that you were here when you were here. So it had no utility, so I didn't even think about it. But the reason that it's going so crazy is $Degen. So we might as well jump to that insanity first, and then we'll come back. But Jack, I believe we pronounce it Jack, or it might be Jessic, we're not sure, has launched the Degen token claims are officially live on degen.tips. After connecting your wallet, you should see a claim button where the countdown timer to launch once was. Thanks everyone who made this possible. We received a huge amount of community support. That's an understatement. And we really appreciate all you Degens. And soon after, Greg Seymour had launched it live on Xerion, so you can check that out. And then from Oxen, we have Degenesis 1-1 in the beginning. There was a stealth launch. So yeah, so the DGen channel, we've been talking about this for probably over a month now. I don't know
I
when
was
points
I was gonna say
launched.
it's been 3 years.
17 years ago, the DGen channel got active. And it started with points and then it's gone from there. But this has been really interesting. So the $ DGen has been the thing that has created all this crazy activity of people posting, relike, retweet, et cetera, because you were getting boosts from doing those activities for your DGen, $DGen claim. So I kind of didn't play that game very much because it's just not my vibe. But but I have benefited from some of that because people would be like, retweet this, get 100 warps, and I'm like, okay, uh, requote or quote cast or recast, whatever. So it's been interesting to watch. So I've been kind of like not liking it and liking it at the same time. Mixed feelings. So how are you feeling about the DGen finally launching?
Well, I had no idea it hadn't launched because
You said that today. That was funny.
Um, because it had taken over my feed. I don't really play the game. Like, you can't buy my recasts, okay? You can't buy
Yeah.
my likes. I'm not, or you're not gonna do it for warps, at
I might do
least.
it for warps, but I have to actually like the thing to do it for warps. I will say that. It has to be the right thing for me. Yeah.
So I just kinda have, largely, ignored it and sat on the sideline. So I just assumed DGen had launched, so, you'll have to
Well, there
educate
you
me.
go.
No, it just
This is
launched.
it just launched, so I have no idea what that's gonna all mean. So we're gonna be tracking that, and we'll see what happens. But in other news, let's move on from the DGen channel. Let's climb out of the DGen channel. Back a couple days ago, 2 days ago, today was a record day for number of casts. I thought that was pretty amazing. So we're having a banger of a January. We are definitely off to a fast start. We have, tokens dropping. We have casting going crazy. These two things might be related. And Oxen's take was we're now in Farcaster's second epoch. Do you think that's true? I don't know. I think it might even be in the third. What do you think
Um
from that
That
perspective?
was my first reaction. I was like, "It's gotta be at least the 3rd," because by the time I joined, it didn't I felt like I was already in the 2nd.
Yeah, I feel like that too. Like I feel like it's a little further down, but there's definitely a shift. of some sort that's been happening lately. I mean, I think we can all agree there. There's definitely something new, something different
But don't call it
happening.
whatever you do, don't call it product market fit.
It's not product market fit. And of course I do have that as well. Like if I could just find the right cast, we can slide right into that discussion. Nicholas said it's interesting that DWR does not think Farcaster has PMF. And Dan's response was it doesn't. It doesn't question mark. Warpcast is default dead and there are no other clients with material sign up numbers. Product market fit means you found it a FX where you if you add dollar to it, you output retained growth, which should then translate to dollars. So this was summarized a little bit. QDAOs, add dollar, profit, one, two, three, and then Dan did some adjustments, retained QDAOs, and I thought that was a good point. Figure out sustainable economic model, add money, profit. So I thought that was a really interesting kind of discussion happening there, and we had that discussion with Rish on Friday as well about product market fit. And you had asked him that question. He said, no, well, we can't have product market fit because Farcaster doesn't. Um, and I think that comes down to, again, we had that also that, comment from Links that you have product market fit. The market's just tiny, but really it's like, do you have enough to keep going? I think yes. But do we have full on like an actual viable, sustainable market? Probably not quite yet. So what do you think about all that discussion? What were your thoughts there?
Um, yeah, I think we can, on the sidelines, think that if someone is paying for something, that's a market, and I have product market fit. And that reminder of no, it's really you're looking for this. It's got to be sustainable and kind of that function of growth, especially when you are looking at a venture backed startup that is trying where like the market you're after is the world.
Right.
It's
Yeah, it's a big market.
uh yeah, then
It's a big market.
and look at the competition.
Right. Right. And the
So
competition
unlike
and who's the
your
competition is the question too, right? So if we could go, oh, it's just Mastodon and Lens, right? That's easy to make that argument, but that's not really it, right? It's Twitter, it's all the attention. It's really anything that's
attention.
competing for our attention in that space is really the competition. So but it's, if we look at it, we could look at it very, very targeted and be like, does it have, how are we doing in relation to Lens and Mastodon? And even that, I think there's arguments to make that we're not quite seeing the same growth that they are. So interesting, interesting.
Yeah. Don't
So
celebrate yet,
don't
but keep
celebrate yet.
casting keep casting if you care.
Yeah, keep casting, keep going. Um, Moving on, we have a few other things. Oh, this was funny. 2023 meta, no one uses Farcaster. 2024 meta, too many ETH people are using Farcaster. And then Johnny added to that 2022 meta, Farcaster is too intellectual. 2023 meta, Farcaster is too degen. So we tend to what I'm feeling here is that we tend to overcorrect
That's right.
just a tad. we might be over we might be overcorrecting. In our chat, and this is an anon, which is perfect. We have an anon in the chat with this following comment. I love this. Dollar sign DGen was my first major introduction to Farcaster. Within 2 days, I made it to the 30th spot. You might say this was definitely my vibe. That is amazing. Like that's so there you go. Like we can talk about there's folks who aren't going to who want to mute the channel and aren't going to like this activity on their timeline, but there's others who are going to be here just, that's what's going to bring them in, and then maybe they're going to stick around for some other for some other stuff, for some other channels. So I think, it's definitely a positive overall. Hopefully. As long as nobody gets real wrecked. We'll call it a positive. But I thought that's really interesting. And welcome, Anon. Welcome to GM Farcaster. We're glad you're here. Moving on, new on Warpcast, better cast embeds in Cast. We've upgraded our cast embeds to include images and the ability to hover over a quoted user's PFP for more information, for more profile information, which I am demonstrating right now, so you can see what that looks like. And I noticed also photos look a little better. I have been able to upload GIFs very easily and they look good. So that's been interesting. I've been just going to jiffy.com and then I'll click on share, whatever it is, but then save it to my camera roll and upload it that way. And it works great. So little tip, if you
But was
want to
that
share
not before?
GIFs, Jiffy, GIPHY.com. And then you can just search, like I search
But could
nouns
you
and
not
come up
share
with shit.
GIFs before?
No, I couldn't figure it out. Not in a good way.
Oh,
Not in a good way. Mine wouldn't work well.
yeah.
It would always look funky or it would look
Yeah.
like a link or whatever. I don't know. So I've been able to do it and it actually looks good, but I couldn't do it
I've been able
easily
to do it
before.
as long as it was saved to
Oh,
my
good.
camera roll. Like as an
Okay.
if it was a
So
animated GIF on my
maybe
camera
it's been
roll.
a feature for a while and it just wasn't, I don't know, something was not quite right for me. It wasn't working right. It was never looking
Mhm.
either would not it wasn't moving or whatever. It wasn't, but now it seems to be working really well. So I don't know if that the way it's embedding now is different. It may not be, but it feels like it is to me. So camera roll, upload, embed, yep. And
Is
I've been
not
doing
in
it a
bed.
lot. Um so, and I love this. I wouldn't have a Farcat, Purple Dow, Degen Dow, Farcaster OG, and whatever else um, it took to max boost. So there you go. So there's all that benefit to all those things. That's pretty cool. That's amazing. So okay. I am sold on the Degen channel. There we go. Couple more quick announcements. PSA Farcaster logo in purple are CCO and belong to the protocol. Use and remix as you see fit. This was something that you just wanted to mention. Um, it's something that was posted a while ago, but just a reminder that yes, you can use these things and make them your own. And then I already mentioned the new on Warpcast Web profile hover cards are back, so you can hover over those to see more information. And I wanted to mention this because I thought this was really fun from Woj. This is audacious to say after just 2 months of work, but I'm building Supercast to last forever. Will be fun. And I don't think I pulled this particular cast, but he also said that today, I believe he's launching threads on Supercast. So I was tagging Adam Cochran, who's a infamous threador over on X, and letting him know that he can now, because that was
It's time.
his very first complaint over on Farcaster was it's really hard to do threads. So there you go, Adam. It's coming. It's
What does
coming.
everybody think of threads? Are you looking forward to threads? Do you write threads? Do you like reading
I
them?
do. Well, and especially if I'm trying to add like, thank you, my puppy. If I'm trying to add like information, especially with GM Farcasters, there's times when I just want to put it all in one and not have to keep going back and adding. And I would love to just publish it at once as that whole thread. Yeah. So, but not very often. It's not like it's not like it's killing me. But
Yeah,
there's been times where it would have been really, really useful. So,
right.
yeah.
And obviously,
So
just like Quotecast, you can write threads,
mhm.
right? There's a little more friction
It takes
in
work.
the
Yeah,
it just takes a
exactly.
little more work.
Yeah, you can absolutely do a thread.
Oh,
It just takes a little more work. And then
okay,
long cast.
in the
What?
chat right now, DeWoofy just said, "Forget threads, give me long
Long
casts."
cast. That's my and I
DeWoofy,
see your eyes just light up.
no, 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 no,
No?
no. This is the first major thing we're gonna have massive disagreements on.
Oh,
Never
Dewuffy.
long cast.
Wow. Really? Now, why is that? What do you think about why is that?
My brain can't handle long information. I need the logical breakup of casts because then like when it's separated into threads, and then I can choose to just drop out when I want. When I see something too long, it's just I
That's a
use
great
these
point.
feeds.
Mhm. That's a
I
great
will
point. A
read
lot of
long
people will
form.
like shut off if they look at it and it's really long, they're like, nope.
Yep, Bill
Um,
Ackman, no thank you. Didn't read your long essays on Twitter this weekend on X. Sorry, I'm out. It's just no. I like long
for
form
an example.
content, but I find my brain just says like when I go to my feed, I want it to be fast and I'm like
Bite size.
maximizing for bite
Yep.
size and then I deep dive anywhere else. So I love you,
Yeah,
DeWolfie,
and
but
I think that's, and a good point is too, is that if you want that long form content, putting a link to a paragraph or something like that. It's like, give me a little taste, tell me what you're going to tell me, and then if I'm interested, I'll go check that out. And it's not like it's difficult to do that. But there's some people who really like the long tweets, the long casts and all that. So it's going to be interesting. Backman. That's been a whole other thing. I'm not even going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole, but would love to have conversations about plagiarism in academia. But I think I'm going to be doing a lot of that in my other role. So let's deal with that later. Uh, few other things, and the chat is just popping off today, so I appreciate you all as usual. Um, Easy heuristic for quality of a decentralized social network. This is from Dan. Go to the feed of the founder. Do they post more on their decentralized social network than Twitter? Do they get higher quality engagement on average, i.e., non spammy replies? And along those lines, what I thought was interesting, um, which I cannot locate right now, was going back to Nicholas talking about uh, product market fit and getting responses from the founder, like having a conversation, not just like Elon doesn't really do that, you know. He doesn't really, every once in a while he'll reply, but usually there's a little snarkiness to it.
Yeah,
It's not like a tell me more, I want to learn what you're saying so that I can make a better product. And I think that is a huge unlock for Farcaster that I don't think you see elsewhere. What are your thoughts on that?
no, it's amazing. I mean, from to yeah. And in some ways, for Farcaster to succeed, we wanna not know who Dan is, and you wanna not know who Varun is.
Hmm,
It's like
maybe
you needed to succeed without them at some point, but we're
eventually.
so far from that,
Yeah.
and I think, yeah,
Well,
we're
that's
so far from that, and for now, it's like yeah, and even someone was saying, like, Dan said, "No, you have to trust us for now." I
for
don't know if
now.
you saw there was a thread about something and someone
Hmm.
said, "Oh, like right now we're so dependent on this is the
Yeah.
progressive decentralization. We're so dependent on Workcast team." And Dan said, "No, you have to. Like I'm asking you, if you don't
Yeah.
believe in us, then you shouldn't be here." And it was I don't remember him articulating it that way, but it's a good point.
I totally agree with that. And, when I think about decentralized and I think about organizations, of course, I think of DAOs, and they are really hard. They're really hard because of the decentralized nature and lack of leadership. So if you don't have founders who take a strong role early on, or you don't have at least a core group of people who decide, I am going to put some energy here, it will die. It will just die off. So if you don't have that, and it's the same thing with any startup, right? If you don't have those founders who are willing to really, eat, sleep, breathe this, you're not going to see that product market fit ever, and it's not going to grow. So I love that thought though, that that's the eventual goal, right? That it won't need them to steer the ship. The ship will just be on autopilot, but
That's
or
right, and
anyone
you
could
can
take the
trust
wheel.
right, and
Yeah.
you might hear in the Web 2 world people who have good intentions and who have
Right.
altruistic intentions, and they'll talk about how much they care about, decentralization, but, power corrupts, and when
Yeah.
so, I trust Dan a ton, and, but we know that, if you're built on the rails of decentralization, um
Yeah.
even when he has all the power, we can take it away from him.
The benevolent dictator. Yes, somebody just monkey D links. Yep, the benevolent
And
dictator. By the way, I was just thinking that would be a great name for another sponsorship level. I'll talk to you about that after. A couple more quick things. I love this from Cameron, a founder's internal dialogue where it's caution, worry, risk going up and progress and future going down. Love that. I
Prof,
loved
we didn't shout out our sponsors in the beginning of the show
I
on
know
this
I forgot.
Monday.
I
Oh
know, we'll
no.
do it in a second. Hold on. A couple more things. I love this from Grin. What's been or continues to be Dan Varun's biggest mistake with Farcaster or Warpcast? So that goes to my earlier point of like that was the cast I was looking for and I forgot where it was. Was that you can post somebody could post that and Dan will jump right in and interact and discuss. And it's not just let me complain about Elon because hate Elon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more of a like, let me try and actually find something that's useful and help to grow the ecosystem, which I think is amazing. Um, and yes, we have to shout out our sponsors. We have so many new sponsors. It's crazy. So I want to thank you all. Monkey D Links. We have Type of. We have. Hold on, I got to bring them up on the screen. I have them out on the screen right now. We have Type of. We have for this week. Wake is our CLP. Our oh my God, conversation liquidity patron. I almost forgot what the CLP stood for.
I got you. I got
So,
you if you
Wake is featured in our weekly recap that went out yesterday, and we featured his amazing on cyber gallery. So, if you have not visited his on cyber gallery, like make an effort to go there because it is way to be Wake. It is pretty amazing. Like I was super impressed. It is like you're in a real museum. So I did mention we probably need a Farcaster art gallery, so I was trying to put a bug in his ear because he does an amazing job with the curation, so that would be pretty cool. Um, and then we also have Yes to Crypto is our wow level. So we really appreciate like we've have some amazing sponsors that are popping in right now. You'll see it at the beginning in the recording and at the end listing all of them, and we thank you so much. And more to come. We're good. We're planning a little virtual meetup. We're planning some things for ETH Denver. We're really excited, and yeah. And then this Friday we have another Friday with Friends with Grace from Unlonely. So we're going to be doing that as well. So we're stepping things up for the new year, and we are way over time. The chat is popping off. I kind of I hate to like end the stream because it's kind of been fun today, but we have, lives that we need to get to. This is what it comes down to. So anything that I missed before we call it, Adrian, anything
um,
big that I missed?
nothing big. It's Monday, so we usually talk about outcasters, which we didn't, but we can on
We will
Wednesday.
talk about that on Wednesday. And I also forgot to mention behind
Your
me, my Zorba texture, which is just a really fun free mint on Zora that I just got a little obsessed with. So if you just like look at my casts from like a couple days ago, you'll see just massive amounts of Zorba texture. This one looked to me like the Farcaster arch with
and
a
my
like
background,
something
yeah,
else.
my
And
background
what's
is
your background?
from one of my favorite photographers on Farcaster, who is
Oh,
also this is the cover art for Outcasters.
amazing. And we will drop that link into our show notes and we'll also talk about it on Wednesday. But we got to call it because we are at the end of our time. So thank you so much for being with us for GM Farcaster. We will see you Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. And see you then. Bye bye.
Thank, bye everyone. Thanks, chatters.